Starting December 2024, eBay's GPSR regulations will go into effect. As the deadline approaches, many eBay sellers are wondering what they need to do in order to become compliant. But GPSR is not even exclusive to eBay. It's actually a regulatory law that has been adopted by the European Union that will take effect into the 14th of December 2024, and it's basically just the marketplace's way of making sure that you are going to follow the rules as a seller. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about it, so by the end of it, you will know everything you need to know in order to become compliant and to get this off your chest. Alright guys, so before getting started, I want to let you know that in this video, I'm going to talk about a lot of documents that are required for GPSR. So every time I'm talking about generating some kind of a document in this video, you can come back to this beginning part of the video and you can see exactly how to generate it. So first thing on your 3D Sellers dashboard, click here on the left hand side on Listings. Once you do that, click on Create a Listing, and here on the upper side, you're going to find some kind of a menu. Click on the GPSR section, and here you're going to find all of your documents. You can create product manufacturer details, you can create product documents from here, you can create product safety information, which looks like this. You can select which ones you want. You can add a product hazard information, and also the responsible persons. So if you want to be compliant with GPSR and not waste a lot of time, you should definitely come here to 3D Sellers because it will save you a lot of time. So first of all, what is this GPSR? It stands for General Product Safety Regulation, and it's basically eBay's way of helping sellers ensure compliance with the European Union. This law is made so that the customers from this specific area, such as the European Union, are going to be protected and they're going to be sold products that are safe. And on top of that, they also need to be clearly marked. They also need to have official documentation. The consumer needs to have a way in which they can quickly contact the manufacturer of the product so that they will have any questions or issues answered. Alright, so now you might be asking yourself, why is GPSR important for eBay sellers? The main reason for that is that the big majority of eBay sellers are making their products available in regions from all around the world. They are doing this with the help of eBay's international shipping program, and they are doing so because basically this allows them to get a wider marketplace at their fingertips. They can sell the products anywhere in the world, and that is of course better than just being able to selling your products in your hometown area. And that is why the European Union and Northern Ireland have both come together and they came up with the GPSR. And the reason why you should know about this is that the European Union wants everybody who's selling in the European Union to be compliant with the GPSR. So what are some key changes and updates to the GPSR? General product safety regulations are intended to ensure that the customer, the final client, is safe. And on top of that, that they can purchase a product that has like safety information and all of the needed documentation. The key changes are that right now this is currently not available. This is not required. The European Union does not require you to be compliant with the GPSR. And starting December 2024, you will have to provide all of the documentation and you will need to be compliant with this. So now let's talk about what kind of products does this apply to. Now, just for us to cover a wide area of products, I just want to let you know that it applies to basically every single product, even if it's new, even if it's secondhand. If it's sold to customers in the European Union or Northern Ireland, you will have to be compliant. Now, the main thing about it is that if you're from the United States, you will need to be very careful about this because if you're selling to someone outside of the United States, the law basically will be different than if you would sell something to the United States. Now, besides this, all of the 27 countries that are inside of the European Union have voted for this and all of them will apply this. For you as an eBay seller, this means that all of the products that you have under international shipping will have to be compliant with GPSR, or you can change the shipping methods and you can only sell in the United States or only in Australia or Canada or whatever place you're selling to. Now, of course, you might be one of those people that just want to say, I don't want to do this. I don't care about GPSR. It's too big of a hassle for me. I just don't want to do it. And of course, you are totally entitled to do this. You will leave some money on the table, of course, depends on what you're selling. But if you don't want to comply with the GPSR, it's very simple. You just don't need to sell to these countries. Now, there are a few exceptions from the products that have to be compliant with the GPSR. First of all, we have medicine, food products including animal feed, plants and animals, GMOs, animal byproducts, pesticides, and products listed as requiring repair, meaning that they are products who are maybe damaged or malfunctioning, or they are not functioning at all and they need to be repaired. Those products do not need to be compliant with GPSR. So for example, if you're selling phones and laptops only for their inside parts, you don't need to be GPSR compliant because you're selling something that doesn't work and the final consumer will only use parts from inside of the laptop or phone or whatever you're selling. So now that we understand what GPSR is, we need to take a moment to understand how can we be compliant as eBay sellers to GPSR. In the case of an eBay seller, one of the biggest hassles when it comes to this is providing documentation from the manufacturer. Today, when you're creating a new product listing, you actually have the option to include all of that information. You can find that under the item disclosure part of the product listing. And all you have to do in order to become GPSR compliant is to fill out that part. Let me tell you how to do it. First of all, for product manufacturer, you need the manufacturer's name, address, and contact information. Then you will be asked to provide product documents. For this, you will be able to include anything that's related to the product, such as product documentation, manuals, certificates, and any other documents that the manufacturer might include with the original product. And on top of that, documents that provide safety warnings must be in the local region of the country that you're selling to. So for example, if you're selling something in Romania, this documentation must be in Romanian. That's very important. After that, you need to include product safety information. You can include that even if it's already included in the original manual of the product. You need to do that just to be compliant with GPSR. Here you can add safety statements, pictograms, and any text information that is about the product safety. You can usually find this information in the product's information manual anyways. Next up, we have economic operator. So if the product's manufacturer is based outside the EU or Northern Ireland, you will need to provide details for a contact person or contact company who's located either in the EU or Northern Ireland. This person or entity or LLC or whatever you want to call it can be a manufacturer's representative in the region, an authorized distributor, it could be even an importer, or any other representative that's authorized as such. Now, how to ensure GPSR compliance as eBay sellers? I just want to let you guys know that eBay takes this very seriously and they really want to be compliant because the European Union is a big chunk of their revenue. They are selling lots of products in the European Union and they want to protect this. They want to protect this revenue stream for them and they want to be compliant with GPSR. So next up, I'm going to tell you what are the specific steps that you need to take in order to be compliant with GPSR as an eBay seller. You're going to realize that it's not that complicated. First of all, conducting product safety assessments. So unless you're the manufacturer of a product, which is most likely that you're not, you will not be required to conduct your own product safety assessments. And the reason for this is pretty logically, like you didn't manufacture the product, so you don't have to conduct product safety assessments. You are just a reseller, so the product safety assessments have already been made by the manufacturer of the product. But it's your responsibility to have all of that information available for the final buyer from the European Union. You see, it's not such a big deal. The information is already there. It's just one step further and it's just a big hassle for you to just take that information and put it in the GPSR compliance when you're selling something on eBay. But you know, we're not gonna leave money on the table. We're gonna do the work, we're gonna do what it takes in order to become compliant. Next up, we need to obtain required documentation, no matter what it is, to have all of the needed documentation in order to be compliant with the GPSR. If you don't have the original documentation, you will need to get in contact with the manufacturer and you can get that from them. But you cannot move forward and you cannot sell products on eBay if you don't have the original documentation. If you cannot reach out to the manufacturer, you can always reach out to a distributor or an agent that's selling the product and they will definitely help you out. Next up, implementing proper labeling and warnings. GPSR compliance requires you as a seller to implement all of the proper wordings with your products. This means adding pictogram labels and warnings that will indicate the safety of the product. These are things such as this one, not suitable for children between the age of 0 and 3. This one, or this one, it's about the batteries, or any other specific warnings that make the product require a specific type of battery or specific type of voltage when you're running it with electricity or whatever. Alright, and now once you've done all of that, you need to update your eBay listings and policies. So after you perfected all of this and after you're compliant with GPSR, you will just need to add all of that information to your listings. As an eBay seller, you will need to do this as a per listing basis, meaning that every time you're listing a product, you need to have the documentation ready. But as an eBay seller, you will likely sell similar products, right? Identical products. You will not only have one single piece of every product, so you will have to work a lot. You will likely have multiple pieces of them, and you only have to provide the documentation once. To make it easier for you, 3D Sellers has implemented this compliance part on our website that will help you be compliant with your eBay listings. They come in the form of templates. And these templates can be applied to your listings, and you can do this the same way that you would apply a shipping template. This will make it easier for us to be GPSR compliant. Now, if you don't want to be GPSR compliant, and if you still want to sell products in the United States without being GPSR compliant, you can face some consequences. Now, the thing is that your personal liability will not be as much, it's not such of a big deal, because the European Union stipulates that the only entity responsible for this is the marketplace, which is in our case eBay. Now, that would be a good thing if we could actually sell products without being GPSR compliant. This is why eBay has taken so many measures to make sure that their sellers are actually GPSR compliant. So that's a big wall right there, and you cannot get past that wall without being compliant. So eBay is the one responsible to check in on you. Now, as a seller, your primary liability is to verify with the manufacturers of the products that you're selling that they are actually compliant with the GPSR. As for the penalties and fines, it's 4% of the annual turnover. But if eBay will get the fine, they will get the fine based on 4% of their turnover, which is billions of dollars, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to pay a fine that big, believe me. So in the end, as things will evolve, if you're not complying with GPSR, your products will simply not be displayed in the European Union and Northern Ireland. Furthermore, you will not have access to display them unless you will be GPSR compliant. GPSR compliance might sound intimidating, but basically eBay has made it simple for its sellers to become compliant, and you can use stuff such as item disclosure that will help you a lot with this. Furthermore, 3D Sellers has made it even more simple, and it comes to your help making everything a lot easier and a lot more accessible so that you can be compliant. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video helped you. Make sure to ask any questions you might have about this in the comment section below. I promise I will read all of the questions and answer them personally. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.